Buenos días a todos. Quería agradecer.
Good morning, everybody. I would like to thank you for the participation in this roundtable, where we're going to be dealing with a very important topic as keys and challenges for digital transformation. I will be the moderator of three very important people in this topic. Carla, Redondo, Secretary General of INCIBE. We have Víctor, Calvo, Sotelo, the General Director of Digital Infrastructure, Francisco, Hortigüela, Director General of AMETIC, and Elena Díaz-Alejo Rodríguez, which is the Public Affairs and Communication Officer of Samsung. Thank you for the participation and for your attendance. Digital transformation is often treated as looking into the future, but we don't have to look into the future. It's present. This present is characterized by constant changes that are characterized as well by being very fast. Not only do we have to change the structure, but also we need to adapt to changes. The other day I was talking with a colleague at INCIBE, and we said cyberspace is going to be a cyber big bang on a constant basis. So at the beginning we had the Internet of Things, or quantum IT, or post-quantum IT that are going to change this digital transformation. I would like you to explain this contents transformation and change. What are the main keys and the main challenges we face? So, if it is okay with you, Victor, we can start with you. Thank you very much. Thank you and good morning. Thank you, Carla and ENISE, for inviting the associations and organizations to this important Congress. It is true that the title is too general after two very specific and sophisticated presentations of the other roundtables, so it's important for us to talk about this, and it's a challenge. I think key and challenges must be situated in time. We are moving away from the pandemic. There's a war in Europe, but there hasn't been a war in Europe for a long time. Let's see how geostrategic factors are very important. And also we have European funding. Not only are we talking about the amount of money that hasn't been seen before, but also the transformation of southern country. Not only that, but also a reform program that is being implemented. I think one of the keys and challenges is that in the next 2-3 years, in which we will have to carry out reforms and make investments, are essential. On the other hand, we are trying to converge new technologies. This is the time we're living in. We are deploying 5G networks after many things that have been deployed in Spain. The pandemic has an impact on the digital world. People use these tools more than before, but that might have been one of the problems in Spain in the past. And then, as we mentioned before, and we were talking about this before, the roundtable, INCIBE has a very important investment program for the next years, and a presentation has been done in Madrid recently talking about the different chapters of the program. So everything is key to face the challenges ahead of us. Thank you very much. Thank you, Francisco. Thank you, Carla, for the invitation. I would like to thank ENISE and the organizers. So, challenges and opportunities. We've been working in these challenges and opportunities at AMETIC for years, an association working in the digital world. And for years we've been starting to talk about a strategy that is still in vigor, a strategy that is going to be good. So 3 axes. How digitalization might affect vertical structures. So for 5 years we've had let's put it this way, engine projects for digitalization, and many activities have been carried out. For example, we've been working in digitalization health sector, tourism sector, or sustainable currency or agri-food sector. But there's still a long way to go, because we need to study governance. We believe the system has to be modernized. We need to work on a private-public partnership co-governance. And another important topic is training and education, the development of digital competencies. 5 years ago, we started talking about this, and today this has become a digital competence plan that is closely related to cybersecurity. And the third axis we work on is innovation. Without innovation, we believe there's no industry. There's no industry without innovation. So the role of industry is extremely important, and that's why digitalization, as we are seeing, how innovation and digitalization for industry might make Spain to regain a position that will be similar to the European level, and Europe is lagging behind if compared to other environments. So this is what we are working on, and then Pedro Mir, our CEO in September in Santander, proposed the creation of a vice presidency or a vice chairmanship of industry and innovation, which are closely related, so that's important. So we have three axes of work, including cybersecurity, obviously. So Elena, can you hear me? Says Elena. Yes, in terms of challenges and opportunities, many things have been said already. We are facing a unique time, a unique moment. Digitalization is key. When facing the situation we face now, the arrival of 5G, the Internet of Things, open system for cooperation with secured applications, etc. And I think the most important thing, something I defend, I'm part of AMETIC and I'm part of the Talent Commission, we have an important challenge. We need to foster and encourage digital talent. I'm part of a technological company, and I dare to say that this is now going to be achieved only with mobile devices. So we need more, and the digital competencies are going to be key, as they are now, actually. Thank you to the three of them. I think the beginning has been spectacular, and hearing to your contributions, I gather we are aware that the digital things are key to respond to the challenges and the opportunities we encounter, as you mentioned, Victor. And I think the public sector is key. We talk about innovative purchasing structures launched by INCIBE. We talk about talent. We talk about training. We talk about artificial intelligence. So all these instances should collaborate to face this the future and this continuous presence, I would say. I would like to ask something to the three of you. So, some questions. First of all, we talk about this program, CPI, or innovative purchasing, or Digital Kid, for example. I would like you to talk about the results of all this among SMEs. Second question, how can we strike a balance between the increased use of technology with a secure use of technology? Because cybersecurity is important to make sure that citizenship and private companies or public companies use this, but in a balanced way. And last question, the use that artificial intelligence might have to reduce the digital gap. So you started talking about the relationship between the administration instances and other instances. I think it's key. PPPs in the next years must be as intensive as possible, not only due to the size of the challenge ahead of us, but the innovation of administration in terms of, for example, hiring formulas, etc., as INCIBE is doing. And next question, you talk about SMEs, and the Digital Kid, for example, is a program which has an ambition that will have an impact on hundreds of companies. And this has been achieved because innovation happened from an administrative point of view, meaning something has been improved to make to implement this kind of project. I believe talent and training is one of the main levers. PPPs still should be more intense As Paco mentioned, many things have to be sorted out in order for us to implement sophisticated programs in the next year and a half. In terms of the digital kits, in the world of SMEs, we really achieve this to reach thousands of SMEs. The transformation in Spain is going to be radical. In this country, SMEs have a very important role to play, and they play a very important role. So making sure SMEs use IT tools that make them be closer to the digital transformation is key, and this is going to transform the sector in Spain. Secure use. At the beginning of the day, we talked about the history of INCIBE, but 15 years ago, half of the terms we use now were completely unknown. But more awareness should be there to make sure we know about security at all levels. In terms of artificial intelligence is one of the technologies that makes me have more vertigo, because the ability it has to create new applications that are really surprising. I don't know exactly if this could be applied to the closing of the digital gap to see what the patterns can be used, etc. But I think it's going to be one of the most disruptive technologies in the future. Thank you, Víctor. Just to add up to what Víctor was saying, I think the digital kit is a good example of all that. Innovation has happened in the digital kit, and the goal is being achieved. Of course, we have more people involved, more companies involved. At the beginning, the first part of the work is being good. We are working in the second, let's say, track of the way ahead of us, and the future, the third part is going to be very good. So we were asked how we saw things, as if things are moving forward or not. I believe something spectacular happened with the digital kids, even if all the standards are companies, but SMEs are being accompanied, which is the first step. As Víctor mentioned, training is very important. You might have tools, and if you don't know how to use them, this is useless. So the presentation of the National Plan for Digital Competencies is extremely important in order precisely to improve training. So the digital kit is an example for Spain, and we talked about this with the European network, and we are going to present the digital kit as an innovation soon as a support to SMEs. So I think things are very good. As to cybersecurity, the most important thing is talent, training in companies, training citizens at an early age is important as well. We need to, because we are older and probably will start it later, but this is something you have to learn since childhood, because they interact really in the digital world, and same thing for companies. So it's an important task to tackle in the near future. And also artificial intelligence is very powerful, and we are dealing with a great deal of data that are being used in a smart way for them to help us to make decisions. So the most important thing is what uses artificial intelligence has. So the most important thing is to have good data, how the artificial intelligence is going to be used, because uses are many, but you need to know how AI is going to help you in your company. So many dates, how you're going to use them, and also algorithms. So it's complicated and simple at the same time. The most important thing is to have an initial structure. So first of all is for what, and then how. And this is very useful because it's very powerful. It might help us to improve our manufacturing and production processes and also access to consumers. So the potential is huge. Costs are reducing. Access to public data is important. I believe we are in a phase that is important for Spain because we have many things in our inbox, and we're going to use this for the development of the entrepreneurial tissue. Yeah, just to comment on what Paco mentioned, training at an early age is important to reduce gap. So we need to see what the situation is like at a corporate level. There's a gap between bigger companies and smaller companies. Differences are really acute. Bigger companies have a more specialist profiles of people working there, and then early education is important, I believe, because 8 years ago we started a project with Samsung and with the Ministry of the Education, and we wanted to introduce technology in education from early ages as a methodological tool for kids to learn and use technology since they are small, because this is going to be profitable for their professional future. And a survey was conducted some time ago, and parents say it's important for them to start learning how to use technology. One of the most important things they mention is whenever they start working on the internet, they would know what risks are, and they know how to move around. And that is a survey we conducted 8 years ago, so it's curious enough. So training prepares you better for the current situation of society, but then you learn how to live in a world. And for parents, this is really sometimes is worrying how kids are going to live in this world, but training is important and education is done. Talking about a digital kid, we all agree, I'm sure, it's a unique opportunity, 3-point-something billion for SMEs. We need to increase the productivity of such an important part of our productive company tissue we have in Spain, or structure we have in Spain. As we said before, not only are we talking about devices and device purchasing, which is important, but also the strategy should be based on an ecosystem to improve the productivity of SMEs, management, finances of SMEs, and everything should be based on a security platform for information to be protected. I think this is very important. The only way for SMEs to be competitive and able to survive in the global world we live in is precisely this, digitalization. That's why we need to work together on the digital kit, and we need to support the digitalization of SMEs and this transformation process. And data show that 59% of companies say that they started a digital transformation process, but it's important to know that 15% of Spanish companies say that no change happened in terms of digital transformation, which is worrying, but we should work on that to make things agile or more agile. As to AI, it's a very interesting democratization of information process and a tool. It's something that we have on our daily basis, and even if we don't know that, or even if we don't aware of that, we use them. We use it. For example, when you have access to bank or social media or papers that you read on the internet, you already use artificial intelligence. It's making our life easier, actually. For example, let's talk about GPS. For example, who takes a map now to know where you're going to? You use the GPS, you use your phone, and you know already the time you're going to last and everything. So on a daily basis, many options exist that use artificial intelligence, even if we are unaware. But I believe this to be also an opportunity, because in the end, many jobs will exist using artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is going to be key. Not many profiles exist already, so we need to make education important in this regard. And in Samsung, we have a campus and a training course for the development and the competencies among young people, especially women, because we want women to have access to this world, a world with opportunities, with a huge development, with a huge future ahead of that. Rocío Sigueras is one of the main developers, and she had a degree in fine arts, and then she took a artificial intelligence course. The marks she got were incredible, so she complemented and developed further her professional career. During the pandemic, she collaborated with the company to develop a project and a program that was awarded a prize, I believe, and by using a system of artificial intelligence and RX, you could detect COVID cases. So this is something that could be good for career development, and of course this is important for women and social issues. Technology is there to be used, but many things can be done with technology, with important uses, as it was the case. And I would like to add the importance of teams. Teams should prepare for cybersecurity issues. Programming and software is good, but also teams should be prepared, and also devices. And training, I know INCIBE is conducting a great number of education initiatives. Yes, we really focused on that, on SMEs, but also on underage and society at large and citizenship at large, because this group require specific education. I think this roundtable is very interesting, and we are talking about the need to be trained and educated since childhood. But you also mentioned gender gap, and we tackle this since age 8. So not only do we go to schools to train students and focus on careers, on technical careers, but we need to work from early childhood for young girls to focus on that. So we need to make this sector attractive also for young girls. And also lifelong learning is important, because change is required, and this is something normal now. And also PPP, as you mentioned, res.es started working with associations, and INCIBE conducted a survey on the market. And all this is important because SMEs know exactly what you need. And the public sector should provide good services, because we know, or the public sector knows what you need as well. So this is a good horizon for all of us implement innovative and novelty programs in collaboration with the administration. So thank you very much for this very interesting roundtable. I would like to thank you all for your participation. Our pleasure. Thank you very much.